To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making non-believers.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Varsity, and this is episode 41 of NBA Talk Playoff Edition. Now let's get to it. Well, there wasn't really a lot of action today. There was one game today. It was the Denver Nuggets and San Antonio Spurs. Denver coming in with a 3-2 lead, and anytime you're going to San Antonio to try to pull out a road win, it's always going to be hard. And you're talking about a team coached by Greg Popovich. To me, this series is a good lesson for the Denver Nuggets. It talks about how deep your roster actually can be, and against such a good disciplined team like the Spurs, it's always a good battle test. Like, I know they say, "Oh, you need to go through adversity in order to get to the top," but I believe the Spurs is always a good test to test how good your team chemistry is, how good defensively you can be, because Greg Popovich is like the number one guy that is very hard to outcoach, because Greg Popovich just knows how to adjust. He knows how to adjust to certain teams. And yeah, win or lose this series, Denver is going to become a better team the following season, because they're just, like, people say that they lack playoff experience, and this has been a very good season for them. But I'm just saying, like, this, just let alone having a series against the Spurs is going to be good growing pains. It's going to help them develop. It's going to show them how hard it actually is to try to compete for titles when you have to compete against good developed teams like this. And the Spurs, they're going to have nights where they can shoot the lights out. They just are. No win against San Antonio is ever going to be easy, because they're going to play hard 100%. San Antonio is always going to play hard, and that's why they forced this Game 7, because especially you're trying to beat the Spurs on the road. That's never an easy task. It's never an easy task. I don't care who you are. Trying to close out the Spurs, that's never easy. You could ask any NBA legend that when they played against the Spurs. You could ask Kobe about all the times he's played against the Spurs. He'll always tell you that the Spurs were always the hardest matchup in his career, because you're in the Western Conference, you're going to see them so often. You're going to see the Spurs so often, and in the playoffs, you are 60% possible of running into them in the playoffs. Like, and it's going to be a dogfight. It's always going to be a dogfight, but this should be a fun Game 7. It should be a really fun Game 7. Now, I don't know if I give the Spurs a high enough chance to win against Denver when they're at home, when Denver is at home. But Denver, if you really want to protect home court, you're going to put everything that you have. This should be the biggest game of your careers. Every single one of your careers. I'm talking Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Jokic, well, not really Paul Millsap, because he's been past the first round, but anyway, this should be the biggest game of your careers. The young stars, this should be the biggest game of your careers. Will Barton, like Beasley, you all should be given 100% in Game 7, and it should be a fun one. It should be a fun game. And if I'm Portland, I'm watching this Game 7. I'm watching this Game 7, and I'm keeping a close eye on who's going to win, because you could run into the Spurs or Denver. Because to me, Portland, they played hard against OKC, but I don't know if I give them a shot to beat San Antonio. Because I would say I would give them a shot to beat Denver because of their lack of experience, because Portland does have experience. They've been in the playoffs. They've been past the first round before. And it would be just another playing with house money moment for Denver if they play against Portland in the second round, because they wouldn't know how what to do because they've never been this far before. But for Portland, it would be an advantage to play against Denver. Not saying I don't know if they're gonna win the series. Like, I'm not gonna say they're gonna win in 5. It will definitely be a hard series for Portland too, because let's not forget Denver is the second seed in the Western Conference. But I think for Portland, I'm just gonna say from my point of view and from what I've seen from the San Antonio Spurs in the past, I think Portland would rather play Denver than San Antonio. That's just in my opinion, because San Antonio, to me, they've always had Portland's number. They've always had Portland's number. Like, Greg Popovich is not going to do what Billy Donovan did and let Damian Lillard get hot and not call a timeout. He's going to make defensive adjustments. He's going to make Damian Lillard get in uncomfortable situations. Like, they have the personnel to make Damian Lillard uncomfortable. And San Antonio just could play physical with Portland. They're not going to let them get in that rhythm so easily. If you're going to get in that rhythm, then you better try to get everybody in San Antonio in foul trouble. But yeah, if I'm Portland, I would rather play Denver just because of the lack of experience, like I said again. But yeah. But aside from that, we got drama between Damian Lillard and Paul George because I guess you've all heard about Paul George's comment about that was a bad shot and everything, which I'm going to go on the record and say he's not wrong, but he picked the wrong time to say it. He picked the wrong time to say it. You don't comment on the shot that he took right after you got hit with that shot and lost the series. Like, Paul George, you picked the wrong time to comment about the shot. If it were the off season or something like that, or even the following season, then I would go like, okay, he got a point. It was a bad shot. I mean, but don't get me wrong. I do agree with Paul George. It was a bad shot, but I think he just picked the wrong moment to mention that it was a bad shot. And Damian Lillard, he's not wrong either. Paul George, Damian Lillard has been killing you from that distance. From what I see, you did play kind of bad defense. You were kind of sagging off of him. Like, you saw that Damian Lillard has been killing you from that deep throughout the entire series, and you did not even acknowledge the fact game is on the line, your season's on the line, and you just flat out did not defend him correctly. You didn't. Like, you have to acknowledge that too. You could say it's a bad shot all you want, but if you don't block the shot, I mean, not even block, even contest the shot. Like, you were nowhere near Damian Lillard on that shot. Yeah, you were nowhere near Damian Lillard on that shot. So Damian Lillard has a point. Paul George has a point. It's just a matter of he just sounds salty the way he made that comment. Paul George just sounds really salty. And Russell Westbrook, the way he's calling out the haters, I mean, he could answer the critics all he wants, but to me, I think Russell Westbrook, I don't think he needs to comment on people's criticism anymore because, dude, I'm not telling players to shut up, but Russell Westbrook, this is the proper moment where anything you say, the media is gonna make you sound bad. They're gonna make you sound bad. They're gonna portray a different personality that you don't have. I like Russell Westbrook. He plays hard. He gives 110%. I don't care what people say about him stat padding and all this other stuff. But at this point, if Westbrook, just don't talk to the media like you've been doing. Like when you've been saying next question, yeah, just don't talk to the media because at this point, anything you say, because you've made an enemy of the media, they're going to make you sound like a bad guy. They're going to make you sound bad. And it's just, I don't know why, because there's some questions I wouldn't want to answer either. Like Russell Westbrook, the media don't like Russell Westbrook just because he is empowering players by his actions to not answer certain questions. I mean, he answers enough questions as is. How many times you gonna ask the same freaking question? If he tells you he plays bad and he's got to improve, why would you have to ask him the same thing but in a different form of a question? Like, it's the same question. But yeah, if I'm Russell Westbrook, I'm telling Paul George, don't comment on that shot anymore because you did defend it badly. Like, I'm calling out Paul George on that play. He really did defend it badly. And honestly, if Russell Westbrook and Paul George, they should spend the entire offseason trying to work on the decision making and the decision making and shot taking, because Russell Westbrook needs to work on a little bit on his jumper, because that jumper was just not flying from time to time in that series. But speaking of shooting and working on their game, I was hearing this story that the Houston Rockets are already in Oracle. They're already in the Bay Area getting prepared for the Golden State Warriors. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying that that's Houston being cocky and all this other stuff. They're not being cocky. I don't think Houston's being cocky. I really don't. Because if you are already going to where you're going to be playing your next series, you already know you're going to play the Warriors. You're already going to Oracle and getting used to the arena. Well, it's not like you haven't played there before, but you know you're going to start the series there. You're going to get used to people being loud and all this other stuff. You got to get ready for a hostile crowd in Oakland. You're going to get ready. And to me, that's a sign of respect. That's a sign of respect. Houston wants to beat Golden State. Like, they want to beat them. And they're going to do that any means necessary. Like, anything to get them psychologically prepared to play Golden State. By all means. Just as long as you don't try to injure nobody. But, like, you legit beat them, it's like, by all means necessary. Whatever you got to do to get yourself ready. But people are just taking it like, oh, they're being cocky, that they're being conceited, that they could beat Golden State. Well, I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if Houston tries to copy the blueprint on which the Clippers are setting in this series. Which, by the way, Houston did that same exact blueprint last year in the conference finals. And the Clippers are using almost the same thing. They're getting physical with the Warriors, like I mentioned in my last video. They're getting Steph and Klay uncomfortable, letting KD do his thing, because you're not going to single-handedly stop KD. You can't single-handedly stop KD. Players like LeBron, KD, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, you're not going to single-handedly just shut them down. They're going to score one way or another. Like, they're going to get their buckets. But yeah, what Houston did in the conference finals last year, they let KD damn near play one-on-one the entire game. KD never realized that he was ISOing for like the majority of the series. But the Clippers did the same thing in Game 5. They basically let Kevin Durant go one-on-one with whoever he was matched up with, and you're gonna get ready to get in foul trouble, because you're gonna either take a foul or you're gonna get hit and call for an offensive foul, because it's just, you had to deal with whoever's job was to deal with Kevin Durant. You're gonna get in foul trouble. But it's just when you get your fouls. When you get your fouls is what was the key. If you were entering the fourth quarter and you basically only have 1, 2, or 3 fouls, then I would say you're good. I would say you're good if you only have 2 or 3 fouls going into the fourth quarter. Just let Kevin Durant do what he does. I'm not saying don't let him constantly score on you, like contested shots, yes, but try not to focus all of your energy on trying to double team Kevin Durant. And I think that's the game plan that the Houston Rockets set. And I feel like that's what the Clippers are setting, but I think they just got a little more physical with Steph and Clay. They were more disciplined on chasing them when they were trying to bypass screens. And I think that's what the Houston Rockets are going to work on. And plus, they can't be starting off slow when it comes to their shooting like they've been doing against Utah in games 4 and 5. But Golden State, defensively, they have not looked great. And I think that's an advantage towards Houston, because Houston, when they get their shots flowing, like when that three ball is hitting, they will let it fly. They will kill you from the 3-point line. James Harden gets going. I feel like I'm going to see something from James Harden. I really do. And I'm praying that I'm right. I really am, because I am never 100% sure. But I feel like we're going to see a whole different James Harden in this series against Golden State. Like, I know Golden State is going to bring it. Well, who knows what kind of Golden State we're going to see, because defensively they've looked off. Offensively, Golden State can score any way possible, whether it's through KD, through Steph, through Clay, not exactly through Draymond. But yeah, Houston, they're just getting ready. That's how much they respect the Warriors. They want to beat them that bad that they're already over there in their home arena while they're off battling in a game 6. I imagine if this goes to a game 7 against the Clippers, then that's just advantage Houston. That's advantage Houston. And then Kevin Durant is just gonna look bad. It's just gonna look bad on him if they go 7 against the Clippers, and let's say hypothetically, why was that so hard to say? Hypothetically, if they lose to Houston in the second round, who are they gonna blame the whole series on? They're gonna blame it on Kevin Durant, and it's rightfully so. You want to be known as the best player, you gotta take the responsibility of being the best player. You couldn't close out Game 5 against the Clippers, and Max Kellerman was trying to pin the blame on Kevin Durant when it came defensively, because he's saying, that the Warriors know that KD has 1 foot out the door, and Stephen A. Smith saying, that's unfair to Kevin Durant. No, it's not. That is not fair. That is not fair that you're trying to give him a pass. I'm tired of Stephen A. giving KD a pass. I know he made a promise to his mama 2 years ago that he would stop criticizing Kevin Durant, and especially on the move to Golden State, but no passes. No passes. And that's the KD drama. I'm not going more into that. But Houston, I gladly recommend that they keep doing what they're doing. They're already in the Oracle Arena practicing. Rest up, prepare, because you're going to be ready for a battle. Get ready to play physical, because that's the only way you could contend with the Warriors. And at the end of the day, we should have one of the best second rounds that we've seen in years. We're going to have all the best teams in the Western and Eastern Conference battling it out. Like, we're not seeing a team that doesn't belong make it past the first round. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Hit the bell, comment, like, and subscribe if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of